All rise. Hear ye. This Honorable County Commissioners meeting is now in session. The Honorable Chairman Shannon Hester presiding. God bless these United States, the great state of Tennessee, in this honorable meeting. This time, Commissioner Hooks will lead us in prayer. Afterwards, please remain standing for the pledge to our nation's flag.
Let's bow our heads. Our good Lord, it's again that we've come to you, Lord. Thank you for this another time to join in this chamber, Lord, to discuss the business that, Father, that would make our county a better county. Father, our state a better state. Father, but we lift up our men and women in armed forces tonight. Father, we pray, God, a protecting hand upon them. Lord, and those sick with cancer, Lord, we pray for them tonight as well. Father, help us, Lord, to make the right decisions. Father, give us the strength that we could work diligently through the agenda tonight, Father. Help me that I might help others. These things I'll ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated, and please silence your cell phones.
All right, roll's been called. This time we'll open up for business.
Mr. Chairman, before we get started, I'd just like to say thanks to all of our veterans and for everybody that put on the veterans shindig for us this weekend. It was great. Thanks to the county for the green light that we were trying to get everyone in the country to light their buildings up with green lights, and it was great. It was a great day. Thank you.
Well, since you mentioned veterans, I'll go out and let the chair be recognized for this moment. So we have two veterans that are serving on our commission, so I'd like to ask them to come forward at this time. So now they started in the mounted cavalry with horses and stuff. So Ron, this is a flag with the USMC logo on it.
Hurrah.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you. United States Army logo on it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's not forget our chairman. That's right. We've got to say that. He didn't
Shannon, make your own flag.
Well, yeah, I'll make my own.
Well, I'll come over that.
Thank you, and it's always good to recognize our veterans and stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate that moment. All right, motion to approve minutes of the October 16th, 2023 meeting. All right, motion by Wilson, second by Duff. Mr. Wilson.
Nothing for me.
Second, Mr. Duff. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion passed. Acceptance of committee reports and correspondence. Motion by Berry, second by Dove. Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Report number 3 from the Public County Utility Board. I guess, Mr. Creswell, on the, you had, presented them with a letter on the maintenance and cost impacts due to the frequent replacement of machines. Are we better off there now than we were?
Status quo.
And how much is that going to cost us?
Well, that was part of my plan that I presented was to try to strike a compromise so that the next step of this phase wouldn't be what I hope that it doesn't cost us. They did answer and said, and basically didn't accept the proposal, but kept the door open for us to continue to negotiate on what that might look like, and that's where we are right now.
Are they still finding us?
The fee remains $1,500 a month.
And then under the pre-treatment report, says that, Golden Pond, discharged approximately 20,000 gallons of wastewater that caused the plant problems. I guess my question is, they've stopped Golden Pond from putting it in their manhole. Where's Golden Pond putting it now?
Somewhere not in Roane County.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope, unless,
So-
if it is, we don't know about it.
So I guess the cities probably need to be on the lookout then for some additional 20,000.
Yeah, but I think that it was such a problem for ours, it would be really noticeable pretty quickly, from what Gene told me.
Okay, and, on number 7, on the emergency management, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Knoxville papers. Ambulance services all across the southeast are in dire straits. Knoxville's almost out of service. In fact, they will be out of service. The contract is up. They don't know what to do. We're fortunate that we're running ambulance service that stays in the black. We've got really good results now. So I think for Mr. Suter and his staff, thank you for what the ambulance service is doing and providing. We're on schedule where we want to be, getting the things done that we want to do. I would also remind you that we're having an open house. Excuse me, I'll stop there. On the other side, our volunteer fire departments. We got to do something, guys. Our fire boards have told us that for months. It's almost getting to the point where, Council, we're probably almost better to do nothing than we are to do it the way we are from a liability standpoint, because we're not doing a very good job right now. So, we need, the long-range planning committee needs to probably attack it. We probably need to continue attacking it on our fire boards. Guys, we've got to figure out some way to get fire protection, because if we don't, tax increase will be minimal to what fire insurance is going to be if we don't have the right fire protection. So I would just keep us attuned to that. Number 17, we got a letter from our county executive concerning in principle to some acreage in Anderson County. And guys, once again,
It's in Roane County, but it's in the city of Oak Ridge.
it's in the city of Oak Ridge, and it's wildlife that want to take over 3,500 acres. And once again, just like the airport, we're catching up. So that they're already making deals. It could affect like $187,000, about the value's $187,000. So we're not talking peanuts. So I'm thankful that you're on top of it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Duff, you had a second, any?
Yes, I saw on the budget committee, Mike Hooks was not listed as being present. He did make some motions, so he needs to be added as president to the, item number 6, budget committee.
Thank you.
That's it.
We'll make a note to add him.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, any discussion? Any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, majority carried. All right, any notices?
We have 12.
Will you please read them?
Victoria Bearfield, Cindy Blevins, Elizabeth Golden, Ashley Baumgartner, Pamela Byers, Brenda Cordell, William Igu, Tammy Laird, Dion Maples, Candace Monroe, Jeremy Tuttle, and Jessica Benson.
All right, motion. I can't see who motioned.
Hendrickson.
Junior, who seconded?
I did.
All right. Commissioner Henderson.
Appreciate your willingness, sir.
Commissioner Hooks. Okay, thanks, sir. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, majority passed. All right, at this time, we'll be hearing of delegates or delegation from people of Roane County. I do ask that you limit yourself to a 3-minute time frame during that speech. It looks like a lot of people want to speak here tonight, so please, first one, step up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lucinda Sheff. I live at 661 DeArmond Road.
Kingston, Tennessee. And first I want to thank you all for the dedication that you all have for Roane County. I know it's not easy. You'd probably rather be with your families, and I so get that. It was 2 years ago this month that 3 ladies came here to alert you, the funding body of our government schools, about a middle school containing books that were not age appropriate, and that was 4 months after our Tennessee legislature passed Title 39, Chapter 17, Part 9, dealing with obscenity access by minors, and those are under 18, and all of our Roane County school children are under 18. We 3 ladies first came here, then went to the school board, then came back here, and then back to the school board. We went, and the school board heard us. They heard our plea, and they took the not age-appropriate books off. They made a policy, formed a committee to review the library materials before they reach the shelves, and promised this will not happen again. Now I am here again today after a complaint from a parent about a vulgar book reached me in mid-September, and once again I started looking at the Roane County school libraries, all of them this time. I compiled a list of books in each school under certain categories using a search by author, searching by the award books from Stonewall and the Rainbow Roundtable from the American Library Association. I looked at the Library of Congress catalog codes, Goodreads, and booklooks.org. There are books right now in the school libraries containing sexually explicit content, descriptions of rape, child and adult prostitution, nudity, profanity, violence, derogatory terms, underage, drug and alcohol abuse, etc. These books in the libraries are against the 2021 law about minors having access to obscenity, and it's a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by $2,500 fine, 11 months, and 29 days in jail. I have made each of you a copy of the lists that are current as of last Thursday, the 9th. If anybody wants to hand them out, I made one for Wake Cresswell and one for our county attorney. They have the middle schools and the high school and the elementary schools listing in them. Thank you, Mr. Hooks. I went to the school board meeting last time, but the day before I spoke with Mr. Jenkins, and he needed to talk to me because he had the lists. He said he wanted to do the right thing and follow the law about minors having access to obscenity. So I sent him a large 3-part email that showed the explicit content in PDF form of some of the books in question. So he, as the director of school started taking the books away. Okay, you have the list. And, okay.
24 more seconds.
24 more seconds?
No, you keep going.
Okay. So anyway, they're starting to be removed, hallelujah. And I made a recommendation to the school board, as the county should too, withdraw from the American Library Association because of its intent on sexualizing our minors. And the list printed to you, you can see what's been removed, what is still there. At Midway High School, there's a really wicked book there. But go ahead and read over that. It's current as of last Thursday, and something is terribly wrong here because someone is not watching who's putting these books up there. And this is not a good look for Roane County or its citizens to have this kind of profanity on our high school and elementary schools and middle school. If anybody needs any information about how I've been working on this 2-month horrible project, you can call me at 865-316-8808. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Don Barkman. I live at 120 West View Lane in the city of Oak Ridge and in Roane County. I'm here to talk about the proposal to create a committee to study the airport. I think that's an excellent idea. I think it's long overdue, and I think you need to take a good hard look at what that airport represents. To that end, I have with me some information that might be useful to you in creating the committee. Just as the previous speaker had a handout, so do I.
So where did you say you live?
120 Westview Lane, Oak Ridge. Okay. I'm actually, the subdivision will probably see some of the airplanes flying above it when I have to move it. So if anybody wants this, it's split in half. There you go. What that handout is it talks about the mission statement for your committee. give some guidance on what they would do. And it gives you a list of organizations that you could contact that would have pertinent information for you when you look at the airport. I personally have spent a considerable amount of time doing just exactly that. So there's a wealth of information that you can have access to. And I'll be happy to give you any additional information that takes you down the path of looking at the airport.
Thank you.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Scott, you need to stand up.
I'll be glad to tell you some stories about Commissioner Hendrickson, and we played high school ball, and that'd be pleasing. No, I'm Scott Mason, live at 139 Casey Road, Harriman, the city manager of Harriman. I'm here tonight on behalf of our city council just to say thank you for several things that the county and the commissioner's done for the people in Harriman. Starting with several months ago, the county commission through the community investment committee allotted $15,000 to go toward Harriman, a project that we have to renovate our restrooms at Riverfront Park. And just to let you know, that $15,000 is going to be huge to help bring our bathrooms, make them safer, make them ADA compliant. So that money, coupled with what we've already got budgeted, it's going to make a huge difference down there. So on behalf of our city council, thank you. And speaking of our city council, we have some representatives here tonight. We have our vice mayor, Tim Johnson. We have Councilman here, John Brackett, who's drawing up plans for the bathroom renovations. And we have Councilman Alicia Harris back here, as well as Charlie Jones, our Parks and Rec director. And then speaking of that, I also want to say kudos to Officer Robert Sparks and the inmate crew. They came down and over a week and a half were able to reconstruct our dugouts at our softball field at Flour Mill Flats. So they were very small. With that crew, they've been able to make those dugouts larger. Our girls, not only high school, middle school, but also our youth league teams, much safer environment. So his work, along with those inmates, and I talked to Robert Sparks today and just thanked him, but he said not only is it good for us, but all of those men that worked under him, some of them never laid brick before, and he said they did a fantastic job. So I encourage you to get a chance, come over to Flour Mill Flats and see these new dugouts, because it's going to make a huge difference. So on behalf of the city council and myself, thanks to each and every one of you all.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mason, thank you and the Parks and Recreation for allowing us to use the Harriman Recreation Gym down there for pickleball. Us old folks that can't play much anymore, we appreciate you opening the gym up, and that's a service that everyone in this county is using, coming even from Oak Ridge. So thank you all very much.
All right, next up.
Hello, my name is Julie Bledsoe, and these are my fellow Kingston Coal Ash worker wives, Betty Johnson and Janie Clark. And we are here to tell you all about the Historical Marker Program. The world's largest industrial spill happened in Kingston. Our husbands went there and worked to clean up the coal ash. They knew nothing about what they were getting into. My husband came home blowing coal ash dust out his nose. He'd put a Q-tip in his ears that would pull it out, it was gray. He worked there for 5 years, and he now has COPD and some other problems. Their husbands are both deceased from the diseases that they came down with after working there. And I was very moved how you honored your veterans. My grandfather was a veteran, Jesse G. West. He fought in World War I. He was a gunner. He was very traumatized by the war, and back then, you know, it was totally different than it is now. But I've always admired my grandfather. And today I find myself admiring my husband, these ladies' husbands, and all the other workers that work there to clean up the coal ash spill. So this marker is a way to honor those workers and to make sure that this does not happen again. I know this county, or everybody has paid a huge price, and I'm sorry for anyone's losses that you have endured. We never dreamed that we would be in the middle of something like this, standing here talking to you good people. We never in our wildest dreams, you know. I grew up saying pledge allegiance to the flag and I love this country. But I never believed that a government contractor would deny my husband respiratory protection. Never dreamed that. I woke up for a year thinking, am I in America? What is this? You know, what's going on? And when I finally, and he came home and he told me, he said, they won't let us wear a dust mask. I said, well, TVA's there, OSHA, TOSHA, you must not need a dust mask. And I've told this same story in Washington twice and in Chicago, and I'll never stop telling it. And these ladies will never stop telling their truth. And we just want to pass this around and you all look at it, and we would love to put this historical marker at Kingston. This is what it looks like. You've seen them all over the state of Tennessee. We have a deadline of November the 30th. Then there's 2 other deadlines. Everything is explained in here. So, would someone want to pass these out for me?
You want to take this one? Mel, what kind of deadline are we up against?
Well, there's 3, come see yours, there's 3 deadlines. One is November the 30th, which we would love to hit because this is the 15th anniversary of the Kingston spill this year. The next one is June, the deadline is March 31st.
What has to happen before those deadlines?
Basically, we need permission from you all, and we would love to be sponsored. I think the cost of it's like $2,000, $2,050, something like that.
I've been working with them, trying to find a location over there. I think we got a good spot. I would appreciate if everybody could get on board, you know, we sponsor these ladies. They've been working on this a long time, you know, and my dad, you know, he's passed out, and he was a worker over there. So, you know, I'd really appreciate anything we can do for them.
Is the location you found on TVA land, or?
It's right there when you cut into the gate, right there.
Who owns the land?
Is it Roane County property?
Yeah, it's under the lease, yeah.
Is it under the lease or is it county property? Is it
No, it's-
TVA lease?
All that's leased property.
It's
It's either lease or TVA.
So TVA federal government has to approve the marker going there, is that correct?
The marker could go on the side of the highway. It's a highway marker. It could go somewhere in the community on the side of the highway.
They can go right there at the entrance as well, you know. It's
And the
just-
more people that
That
see
way
it, the
everybody can see
better.
it.
Can it go on county property prior to entering TVA property?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. That's what we need to know.
I'd like for these ladies to speak. I don't want to stand up here and say it on.
My name is Betty Johnson. The last time I was here in front of you people, my husband sat right back there. But now my husband has passed due to toxic coal ash in Kingston, Tennessee. So I'd like for you to open up your hearts and open up your minds and feel what we're feeling, especially she and I, because our husband has passed due to that coal ash. So I'm asking you to open up your hearts and your minds and let us have this moment of pride. Because 15 years, nobody's done anything really for the Kingston coal ash. And you can do all these other things, but we need something for those workers. It's just like 9/11 to us.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it feels like to me, another 9/11. So we're just asking you to open up your hearts and read the pamphlet and get back with us and hopefully with good news.
This has to be done by November.
We would like for
You
it.
need property
It would
by
be-
November. You need a location by November the 3rd.
Well,
Impossible.
we need to have it turned, when you read this, you'll see what exactly it entails.
So
And
the application has to be done.
Mr. Hendrickson, you know, he's been working with us, so.
Ma'am, are you all looking for full funding on this? I mean,
Yes, sir.
okay. I didn't know if you had other people
No,
involved.
we don't.
No, we don't.
Well, I'd like to,
Come on, Jackie.
just say one thing. The last time, the last time, we came, her husband and my husband were both here, and this is Ansel and Tommy, and they were reunited, on the soccer field, 5 years ago. And there's a cross down there. I don't know if you all are familiar with the cross at the soccer field. Nobody had done anything. The work, and not that you do it for thanks. No one had thanked these workers. And Betty spoke up and said, can we please do something? So, they said, yes, we would let you do something, so, he built that cross. And he carried it up the hill on his back, and he paid for it. We didn't want any funding for it, he paid it out of his pocket. And, I keep flowers under it, and we did ask Congressman Burchett that, why the flag over the Capitol, but we had to ask for it, and he did do that, and we called it the Kingston Coal Ash Legacy, Workers Legacy Flag, and he presented it to us at the Veterans Cemetery, the day my husband was, his eulogy, he had it there, and Tommy prayed, and he was alive, and then 2 years later, he's passed away, so this is dear to our hearts. And it means a lot. I asked you all for grace that you would consider this. We really appreciate it, because this never went away for us. And there's many more workers, there's many more widows and many more orphans that because of what happened, that gave all, the system failed these people. Plain and simple, they did nothing. So they sent them out there like lambs to the slaughter. And, this is what we get, so we just asked you to consider this, and thank you so much for letting us speak.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Wilson.
Not sure how out of order this is, but I would like to make a motion on the floor that we appropriate
Make second.
$2,000 to this to go ahead and fund this and take care of this.
Thank you.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
Yes. Connie, help, we need a little more direction.
Well, what I'm making a motion to do is give the authority for you to go back and look, that's what I was discussing with Connie, that we can do this, since we're under this deadline. This is kind of out of the ordinary, but, I believe that we have the funding to do that. Do I need to do the 12-day rule?
Well, so we have to wait until 12-day rule.
Yeah,
you're going to amend your agenda.
Right. So,
So I've got a quick question.
Sure.
Are the deadlines, are there periodic deadlines to be able to qualify for the program, or is it once a year?
There's 3. This is the last one of this year.
And then,
If you all could let us shoot for that March deadline, it would give us so much more time to find the right way to handle this. You see, well, they haven't voted, but you see you have really good support here.
Thank you.
So what I would respectfully request is that we shoot for that March deadline, and we bring back to you all a resolution to do this at the December meeting.
Yeah, because
either or.
this is November 13th, and you've only got 2 weeks.
Right, that's really,
We got Thanksgiving coming up, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be really tight.
Well, my only fear with that is TVA is not really for us. And when we would go to Washington, they would be at meetings before we would go in the
But
door.
ma'am,
They would
if
have been there the
it's
day
not going
before.
on TVA property.
Okay.
If it's going on Roane County property,
Okay.
it can go on Roane County
And,
property.
well, this is the 15th anniversary,
Yes.
Yes.
so, you know, they kind of want to get that
so we
day.
could still, so it will be, that's December 22nd, is that right?
Yeah.
yes.
So within a 2 or 3 month period of that, you know, I think if I brought back a resolution to you all in December, we could do that, and that would be the 15th anniversary, and then we'd be able to work on it, get it submitted by that March deadline.
Would that help you all?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
That's fine.
We'll come back again.
Chair recognizes.
Whatever it takes.
Do we not have, I mean, I've been here a year, and I've seen money come and go and spend on stuff I agree on, disagree on, and I'm 100% for this. But it's sad for me to think that we don't have money, that we can't, if we can come up with $2,000 from this, we've got a community investment fund that is supposed to help. Where do y'all live, different places of the county?
We're not.
Knoxville.
Knoxville, your husband's
Came here.
Thank you.
first.
came here, but we've got people up.
People came from all over the country to work at Kingston.
So,
We have money, we just gotta figure out where we can.
Yeah, we just gotta figure out what line.
is there not a reserve fund? Is there
Yeah,
not?
but here's the thing, you can't move $1 until we all agree on it. It has to come out of a certain fund.
Yeah.
I think we agree.
So I'll bring a resolution.
Yeah, you just gotta find out where it's coming.
I'll bring a resolution in December, after Connie and I identify the most appropriate line item for this to come from. And we'll go from there and have something ready for you next month.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Bird.
Yes, I'm almost ashamed to know that I spent many days with Tommy Johnson with a big smile on his face at Rockwood events. I'm also saddened at the fact that we've never really acknowledged probably the worst coal ash spill in the history of our country, and especially that we still have not gotten over it in Roane County. I would like to make a motion that we also, part of that resolution next month, is that we set aside December 22nd as a day honoring all folks who have passed away because of the ash spill at Kingston.
But we'll do a proclamation just for that day. Yeah.
And we can list those guys individually.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
How do we get that list of those who were impacted? Do you all provide that for us?
Yes, it will.
Well, the thing is, there's people sick right now that haven't passed, so you might wanna say, that have died and are sick, you know.
We're gonna make it a day for everyone that was working on that particular day.
There's a lot of people that are suffering and sick, and like, some have already paid the ultimate.
And I apologize it's taking us this long for you to do it. Thank you for continuing
Oh, thank
to
you.
fight
Thank you.
for all of those folks.
Please come back next month.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank y'all, ladies. All right, next.
I have a visual aid. I don't know if y'all can be able to see it, this is part of the story I'm gonna tell. Okay, my name is Dale Byer, 200 Highland Way, Harriman, Tennessee. I want to share a story with you today, a story of resilience, determination, and the power of community. It's a story of Paul Jackson Jr. Paul Jackson Jr. is pictured on here, on this board here, and this is the story I'm telling about him. This name resonates deeply with the halls of Roane and the broader community of East Tennessee. Paul's journey is nothing short of inspirational. Born in Kingston, Tennessee, with the dual challenges of autism and ADHD, Paul's life was a pathway paved with obstacles. Yet with an unyielding spirit, he has carved a niche for himself in the world of technology. From the classrooms of Roane County High School to the rigorous academic corridors of ITT and Fountain City College, Paul pursued his passion for technology, eventually earning a Bachelor of Science degree. His expertise led him to a call center supporting veterans' benefits. This job mirrored his innate desire to help others. But when the pandemic struck, Paul, like many others, faced the harsh reality of unemployment. Undeterred, he furthered his education with a master's degree in information technology from South College. The turning point in Paul's journey came when he joined Roane as an intern. He has found a purpose that resonated with his deepest values, helping people. At the Roane Digital Lab in Harriman, Paul skillfully repaired and refurbished computers distributed to underserved individuals in Roane County. This work was not just a job for Paul, but a mission. In 2022, as Roane expanded its reach with the Connected Learning Program, offering participants basic computer skills classes and Chromebooks, Paul's role evolved. Dale Byer, Roane's executive director, recognized Paul's potential and exceptional ability to connect with students. Paul has transitioned from technician to teacher, a role he embraced with patience and empathy. Initially designed for a dozen students, Paul's classes grew popular, especially among older individuals who admire his patient teaching style. Recognizing the unique needs of his students, Paul tailored the curriculum, infusing it with his personal experiences and insights to make technology more accessible and less intimidating. What makes Paul's story so powerful is his transformation and the impact he has had on his community.
His journey from a struggling job seeker to a key figure in Roanette's mission highlights the transformative power of community support and individual resilience. Paul Jackson Jr. is a beacon of hope, symbolizing what can be achieved when determination meets opportunity. As he continues to teach and develop courses at Roanette, his story is a vivid reminder that sometimes the greatest joy comes not from what we acquire, but from what we give back. In Paul's words, I have found a place where I'm happy, and I feel like I'm helping people. His smile, the smiles of his students, and the increasingly digital literate community are true measures of his success. In the last year, Paul has taught over 300 students, and he has autism and ADHD, and he can't find a full-time job. He has found a home with Roanette. Roanette is continuing to offer digital literacy classes. That's Roanette, that's Paul over there on the right. He's teaching a husband and wife over at the Harriman Municipal Building. These are pictures of other students that have taken our classes over the course of this last year. This is a listing of all the locations, and we've taught digital literacy classes in all six different locations in Roane County. The last one that we're trying to target is south of the river. We have also worked with more community programs in Ray County and Knox County with CARM. So what I'm here today is to be able to ask you to be able to provide a support for Roanette as we move forward in applying for grants. We have a December 6th deadline to be able to apply for a large grant that is provided by the state of Tennessee for digital literacy. And we really need the community support letters in order for us to get the points that we need in order to continue doing the work we're doing here and continue to provide Paul a place that he can feel safe and he's secure and have his ongoing support. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for holding that up.
All right, Nick.
Hi there, my name's Kathleen Cherry. I'm with Life Choices Medical Center, 1102 South Rome Street. If I could pass around some of our flyers, I'd just like to give you an update. Not asking for anything, just an update. So I came here about a year ago and gave you an update then and just let you know about a little bit about our services. So just wanted to reiterate what we do. We do pregnancy tests, limited ultrasounds. We do STI testing and treatment for partners as well. We provide parenting classes, material resources, and after abortion support. And so those are just some of the things that we do for our community. But I wanted to share specifically our numbers for our center and how we're doing. So pregnancy tests, we did 87 just this year, which is a 112% increase from what we did last year. We performed 197 ultrasounds, which is a 70% increase from what we did last year. We did 56 STI testing and treatment appointments, which is 250% more than we did last year. We provided 186 parenting classes, which is 141% more than we did last year. So why are our numbers so staggering this year? One, there's a need in our community. There is not another place besides the hospital that gives ultrasounds to pregnant women. An ultrasound confirms that they have a viable pregnancy and the baby is in the womb where the baby is supposed to be, not an ectopic pregnancy. We are the only place in Roane County that does that besides the hospital. We also provide material support for our clients that take our parenting classes. So far this year, we've had 19 baby showers, And in those baby showers, we've given away over $13,000 worth of material support. We have also given away over 700 packages of diapers, 500 packages of wipes, multiple car seats, pack and play, soaps, baby baths, lotions, everything a mama would need in order to support her child during her pregnancy. So what's next for Life Choices? We're wanting to expand our medical services, well woman exams. We have a nurse practitioner on staff. We'd like to expand our parenting program as well and be able to do more for our community and grow our partnerships. So that's what's next, and that's an update. Any questions for me?
Any cost to the individual?
I'm sorry?
Is there a cost for the individual?
No, everything is free
Everything's
and
free.
perfectly confidential. Mhm. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, real quick, I had a chance to tour Life Choices a few months ago. Mr. Chair, would be glad to give any of y'all a tour of that facility if you haven't had a chance to do so. The work that they're doing for the women in our community and families in our community is incredible, and it's great news to hear how that service is growing. So I'd encourage each of you to reach out to her and tour that service.
All right, as always, good to see everybody. Thank you for the time tonight. I'm Justin Snow. I'm the president and CEO of the Roane Alliance. Last Tuesday at Roane Alliance, we had two committee meetings. The Industrial Liaison Committee and Tourism Committee met. One main item we discussed with the Industrial Liaison Committee is that our pilot policy with the county, our tax abatement policy, has to be reviewed and reauthorized through county commission every 3 years. The last time this was done was November of 2020, so it's time. It's time for us to do that. Edits this time around consist of a few minor policy changes, and we're strengthening some of the language in the agreement. So during the September IDB meeting, actually Mr. Palmer, our chairman, is here tonight. He reviewed those changes with our board, and they voted unanimously to approve and move forward with those changes. Last Tuesday, the Industrial Liaison Committee reviewed the changes, and coming out of that meeting, they voted unanimously to support those changes. So during the December meeting, that'll be in your packet, and it comes with full recommendation and approval, not only through the IDB, but the Industrial Liaison Committee. So it'll be in your packet, it'll be a red line version, so you can see which edits we're looking to make, and I'll be present if anybody has any questions, okay? You should have a handout. Did you have a question, Mr. Berry?
Yes. Right now, we have what, 3 or 4 companies on the pilot program? Just down to 1? Okay.
And soon to be 2.
Okay, so the changes that are forthcoming, would that have affected anyone, or are we just adding points to or taking points away from certain things that are there?
The points are staying the same.
Okay.
The only thing we're adding to the matrix is a retention policy that may come up from, it's good to have in your back pocket if you need it, okay?
So we're down to what is that now? Which company has the pilot program now?
It'll be Malibu Boats.
So we're 0 right now?
We're 0, yeah.
Wow.
And then the proposed company coming in Rockwood would be the second. So when they come off, I get the quick claim deeds going, and I get them flipped around, and they get to the company's name, so.
So that's great, because AC Hackney would have come off then, so.
I had them come off, Volkswagen come off.
Good. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Real quick, following that meeting, the Tourism Committee met, and Stacy Wilson continues to do a great job with our tourism efforts in the county. And I gave everybody a one sheet. She passed out this snapshot of direct visitor spending in the county. And I'm not gonna go through all this. I'm just gonna highlight a few things. But if you look year over year, 2021 to 2022, 64 million to 70 million. We had nearly a 10% increase in direct spending. If you look at county rank in the state, 2022 visitor spending, Roane County was ranked 30th, which is the top third in the state. According to the report, there's over 500,000 visitors that visit the county each year that spend an average of $138. Of course, that goes to drive local and state sales taxes. And in 2022, visitors to Roane County generated $331 in tax savings per household through state and local tax collection. So I'm not gonna go through all this, but I thought these were pretty impressive numbers. Take time to go through these, okay? Last but not least, in your packet I gave you is a list of events. I always like to go through, make sure you know everything that's going on in the county. A couple of Saturdays ago, we had the first ever Roane Chamber softball clash. We had 7 teams that generated over $1,700 towards charity. And this Friday night, don't forget, is the Senator Ken Yeager chili supper at Roane State beginning at 5 o'clock. There'll also be a silent auction. And then the next day, we'll have the first ever Taste of the Holidays in downtown Harriman. There'll be over 30 food vendors. There'll be entertainment, food trucks. There'll be a kid zone, and Santa Claus will be there as well. So, yes.
Could we get a number of how many dollars out of our tourism are generated by the lake?
I can see if we
By fishing tournaments, other stuff, there's a reason we need that.
Yeah. Well, there's a generic pie chart on the one here that shows it's broken down in retail and restaurants, and so it's broken up generally in 5 categories, but we can drill down. Hopefully
If we could get a number of what is actually brought in because of fishing tournaments in the lake and stuff, we may be off well.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah. Any other questions? That concludes my report. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, next. Hey, good evening. I'm Monty Fritz, 109 Mainsail Road here in Kingston, Tennessee. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I appreciate the time. I come to report out on 3, maybe 4 things. I'm going to touch them very quickly, and if there's something that you need from these, I'll be glad to send you copies electronically of what I'm going to reference. I find that it's incumbent upon me to protect the interests of the state financially, and that goes into the county as well. And so the first matter touches on that. Back in July of this year, myself and several other members of the Tennessee General Assembly visited the southern U.S. border at McAllen, Texas. That's a whole much longer than 3-minute discussion. But as a result of that, we've drafted a letter and sent to Attorney General Scarametti. There are 13 signatures on the letter. We sent that on 11 October of this year. And I'll read just a couple sentences from the letter. But the bottom line is this: we have asked the Attorney General to look at civil criminal liabilities for the federal government for allowing the invasion that's taken place at the southern border. And we are asking for a recovery of funding from the U.S. government to the state of Tennessee and to our counties for the incarceration, medical care, and education of illegal aliens. I think that's an important thing for us to do. A couple sentences I'll read from this, and then I'll move to the next topic quickly, and I'll take questions at the end if you all don't mind. Referring to what's taking place at the southern border, it endangers the lawful inhabitants of this country by allowing a point of entry for gangs or other criminal enterprises as well as terrorist organizations. An existential threat to our citizens result from these criminal and terrorist organizations. This is furthered by the electoral risk in national elections resultant from some states not requiring identification to vote. Local budgets are impacted due to the cost of providing medical treatment, educational resources, as well as incarceration for those who have committed crimes. I do not have an answer back on this letter yet, but I have asked the Attorney General for a response. I'll give you a copy of it. Second topic is also a letter to the Attorney General. These are things that you wouldn't see necessarily if you looked at legislation I was carrying, so I thought it was incumbent upon me to report these out to you. We have several constituents contacted our office over the last few weeks concerning the fact that Covenant Health is not going to accept Cigna insurance starting in March of next year. And that is and can be a tremendous problem for us. A good number of our state employees are Cigna insurance holders, as well as lots of the Y-12 employees, probably all of them. And so we asked the Attorney General to look at this from 3 different angles.
and in relation to the Tennessee Constitution, Article 1, Section 22, and it states that perpetuities and monopolies are contrary to the genius of a free state shall not be allowed. And so for the capacity to deliver care, the proximity of care, if this occurs, and these folks that have Cigna insurance are no longer carried as in-network coverage, could be devastating to our local citizens. I will tell you, Commission and Chairman, I'm absolutely opposed to the government being involved at all in our insurance systems. We do issue certificates of need in the state of Tennessee, so we're not separated from this. And so we've asked for his opinion on that. And I apologize, I've gone over time. I'll be very quick with this next one. It's particular to Loudoun County, but it goes to the entire state. This is in reference to a piece of legislation that I co-sponsored back in the summer that became law on July 1st. It was House Bill 40. It is now part of public chapter. And it denies certain restricted nations from owning Tennessee soil. And so we had some questions come up about a tract of acreage over in Loudoun County, about 400 acres. That there was a Walton Group, which Walton Group does lots of investment, foreign investment in soil in the United States. There are 4 of these sites in the state of Tennessee, this one here, 2 in Nashville and 1 in Chattanooga. And so the covenant codes and restrictions for that deed were written such, they were filed 11 months after the transaction. And they were written such that no U.S. person, and I quote that, no U.S. person could have ownership in that property. After discussions with the Attorney General, with the Walton Group, their lobbyists and so forth, they do that for tax purposes, to advantage the foreign investor. It may be a U.S. citizen that lives abroad, but they can invest in the property. That is problematic for me. It is not illegal, based on the Attorney General's review of this. This transaction occurred before July 1st in this law. The Attorney General's office did counsel me that it was not something that was illegal and it should not create a great deal of concern. I will tell you this in closing. It bothers me that foreigners can make money on U.S. soil, on Tennessee soil, and we cannot. So each of you on this commission would have been excluded from investing in that property the way it's done. So that's something we continue to look at. Again, I thank you for your time. I'll certainly take any questions. I apologize for speaking so fast. It's hard from a dual citizen like myself, someone from Rockwood and Kingston, to speak. Yes, sir.
Does the state have any idea of how many illegal immigrants are in the state of Tennessee?
There may be an idea, Commissioner Parks. I don't have that number. I certainly don't have that number. I think some of that is per our conversation before on this matter. The federal government doesn't ask permission to send these folks in. And we have had reports, some are 2 years old, where we had busloads of human beings, created in front of God, just like you and I are, but still criminals that have come into these United States. That they've been deposited in areas in Greenback and Loudoun County and I'm sure other areas. So it is an ongoing concern. And part of what I'm trying to do there, Commissioner Parks, is raise and elevate the attention to this matter. So I think it's incumbent upon us to do so.
I agree. Chair recognizes Commissioner Wilson.
So I've got a question for you. You might want to educate me. Don't even really know how to ask this question, but have you seen counties, or are you hearing of counties that are writing resolutions to prevent China from buying inside their areas, such as Loudoun County is, dealing with that problem that bought all that property and refuses to allow any citizen of the United States to buy?
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. I haven't seen those resolutions. I have heard scuttlebutt of them, but I haven't seen those. There have been some resolutions from other parts of the state outside Loudoun County, and if I have seen it, I've forgotten about it. So I'm trying to be honest about it. But I don't recall the wording for such. Okay, certainly.
Sir, as always, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Go to 5.
All right, next.
John Dennis Rockwood. Thank you. I'm not going to sing to you tonight. At any rate, a lot more important issues have come up tonight. Very important. One of which I'm concerned about, maybe hasn't been brought up, is child women sex trafficking. And that's something that, I understand, shamefully haven't seen the movie, The Sound of Freedom yet. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but I understand it's really good. So I'm encouraging myself and others to listen to it. I'm very grateful for y'all that you have opening ears and open hearts to hear what people had to say here today. I was watching and you really care. And you're willing to put out open cards yourself a little bit and try to help some people with their statutes and so forth. God bless y'all. It's exciting. And this is a exciting, most wonderful time of the year. It's, for me, with Patriots Day and Veterans Day and Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's a wonderful time. A lot of people are stressed out, as we notice here tonight. And I think we're coming into an election year now, within a year of election time. And I'm trying to think without saying any candidates or anything like that. I think I've kind of put together an ABC. ABCs of voting, and first one's the A for America first. This gentleman just spoke before me about putting America first. And, I think that's one thing we need to consider, and the B would be the Beatitudes, referring to the Beatitudes that Jesus said. I believe it was in the Mount, wasn't it? What Mount was that? Anyhow, Jesus said the Beatitudes on a mount. I can't remember what it was, but if we get a chance to look through those are some things we need to look for in an election year for these type of people, wise and people that are running, and loving people that are running for offices. And the C is for the Constitution of the United States of America. I know our Constitution is divinely inspired by the Lord, and we can't not let that go. We just can't, people are going to trample on it, and we cannot let that happen for the Patriots. We can't do it. Veterans, I'm not a veteran, but I know there's going to be a lot of veterans sticking up for our country and Constitution. I hope we all can too. God bless you. God bless America. We need all the help we can get right now. Let's hang together.
All right, next.
My name is Roberta Dennis. Hopefully you can hear me. My voice has a hard time. I'm very concerned right now on the very large scale issues of our country. And I think we need to seriously be looking at absolutely everything that we can to see what we can do to prevent the destruction of this country, which we're knocking on the door. And I want to bring that little issue up. It's humongous. We have a man, unfortunately, sitting at the helm who has a bad case of dementia. I've been in home health. I worked for 22 years in home health and real estate. I worked all the time. When I wasn't doing that, I was transporting children to sports. But World War III is right upon us. And if you don't think it is, you need to do some serious research. Now we've got Google that is working overtime right now, destroying this country. They are into globalism. I'm not into globalism. I'm into the Constitution, and I hope that every one of you here is. And you better make a decision. Don't take any money at all that can possibly be compromised. They have machines now, as some of you have found out. If you get these machines, they actually can alter the election results. So use your discretion on taking any money. if you have already, you need to seriously repent of it. And the Lord has, if he can forgive King David, he can forgive you. President Trump was denied because of the corruption. We have the Biden crime family, but he's not the one running this country. I think every one of you know this. This being the situation that we have, we're in big trouble. We have land acquisitions, as was just mentioned. China has taken over valuable properties around our military bases, around nuclear plants. That's on the record. That's one of the things Monty's trying to stop. Mayorkas, who's supposed to be Homeland Security, the head of Homeland Security, has betrayed us. He needs removed from office. Contact your representatives and the senators. Illegal people in this country need removed. Go in the right way as other people have. Thank you for your time.
All right, next. Is there anyone else to address the county commission? All right, hearing none, seeing none at this time. Thank you all. At this time, we'll have the county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing new to report, but I will attempt to answer questions if anybody has any.
Any questions for the county attorney? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on to the county executive's report.
Mr. Chairman, I wish my report could be as brief as the county attorney's, but I do have a few things to add. Progress on the Roane County Health Department continues. The Health Department building continues. The contract on demolition has been awarded and is scheduled to start very soon. The Property Committee has made a recommendation to the Art Committee regarding the use of the remainder of the building, and the Art Committee is meeting Thursday night to discuss. The ambulance station on Galahar Road will be completed this week. We are finalizing the contracts with the City of Oak Ridge and Anderson County EMS to redraw the service lines so that EMS service can respond much more quickly to the with the Galahar Road station in service. There is a grand opening on November 21st at 9 a.m. You are all invited to that to cut the ribbon on that. Was that his mind? Everybody be real still.
They get a little possessed every now and then.
The Opioid Council has approved an initial plan for the first phase of expenditures from the opioid settlement funds. I also made a resolution on their behalf, and members of the team will be available at the next commission meeting to answer questions. I'd like to extend a special thank you to our commissioners who have been involved with that committee to help steer us in a positive direction. Thank you very much. I know we're all excited about bringing that forward. And since it's handout night at the commission meeting, there's a handout I put on each of your desks. There was a public meeting last week to gain input for the long-range strategic plan for Roane County. If you haven't already, please take the survey. That handout is a link to the survey. You can take a picture with your phone, or the link is spelled out for you there. So please do this, push it out, share it. We need to get as much input as possible. We're doing this through December, and then the work of that committee will begin in earnest. And then finally, we had a great turnout for our 2023 Founders Day. Thank you all for nominating such an outstanding class of Roane treasurers. One of our treasurers is with us tonight, Mr. Jim Palmer. And I want to thank the commissioners who helped make it such a great night. And as you all know, there's a resolution on the agenda to honor our Roane treasurers tonight too. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I timed it up just perfect.
I'm sorry. Thank you, sir. All right, any special orders tonight?
Hey, Mr. Chairman, before we get started new business, can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins, would you mind giving us an update on the book removal and how that's going, the numbers we're at?
I don't have the numbers before me, but we've been vetting the books that Lucinda gave us. She gave us some actionable documents. Some of the documents aren't very actionable, so if you've got just a list of books and you don't tell where to look, we've had a real struggle finding. You may have a 700-page book and it may have one thing that's questionable in it. But she sent me 3 emails, and those were very actionable items. We put those out to the librarians and to the principals, and we've gone through hundreds of those. And then if the librarian and principal didn't agree on something, we have a review process. They filled out our form, and we had a review committee meeting today where they had a list of books that they are going through, and they'll make a recommendation whether to leave it on the shelf, bump it up, or to remove it. And so we've gone through a bunch of them. We really need everyone to cooperate and put it on a form, or get with Lucinda. She's good at researching and cutting out some of the legwork. We have 131,313 books, or we've pulled some of those. 131,000 books this thick, and some of them were filled all the way through it. We removed those quickly. Some of them have 1 or 2 pages that are questionable. We can't know everything in those without some help. So we want everybody to follow our processes, and if they'll fill out the form, I can promise you, we pull the book, the committee meets, and we remove it if it's inappropriate. And that's how we're going to do it.
So what are you doing? Have you made any changes about ordering the books?
We have worked on that with our principals and our librarians. We're putting systems in place to where there's a second check. Like we've had librarians, if you look it up on Amazon and you don't have the correct sites to go and do a check, you read these books and they do not tell you that they have that filled in them. They just don't. And it's disguised. And when you're ordering hundreds of books from a vendor, then you don't necessarily know. You try to screen, you try to look for some indicators.
You shouldn't order it if you don't know.
Well,
I mean, there's no time limit on protecting children.
I'm not gonna argue with on.
And I'm just saying,
I don't order the books. We have people in place to do that. We're gonna do a better job trying to review it. We've got a website from Lucinda now that you can find a lot of the questionable books, but there's still gonna be things that slip through, and that's why we have a process. If a parent finds it, if a kid brings it home, it's inappropriate, fill out the form and we deal with it. And we're very, we spend a ton of time and energy, which we should, because we don't want that in our schools, but we have to follow our processes. And if we'll do that, then things will work out good. And we've been very active. I think we've spent at least some part of every day, the last probably month, working on this. So we're gonna do the right thing. We just, like I said, follow our board processes and it'll work out good. And then as far as the reviews, any citizen can review that on Alexandria. They can look and they can send us those books, but send them on a sheet and narrow it down. Tell us what's in question. So it's not Russell Jenkins reviewing it, it's our committee reviewing it. We have community persons, librarians, administrators, teachers. They will review for appropriateness and then they make the decision. So
what's happening to these books when you pull them?
we don't even have that yet. We've got them pulled right now, but we've got to figure out what we got to do with it.
I'd like something good to come from it, so I like to see them recycled.
Yeah, well, something like that, for sure. We don't, obviously, if they're inappropriate, we're not going to send them home to kids. So we're going to have to come up with some system, but they're our county property, so we'll have to surplus it and then probably recycle, we'll take the convenience centers.
Well, since this was county money to purchase them, I'd like to get an estimate of what we spent buying pornography books.
You can do a request on that. It's going to take time and money.
I'm going to ask the commission right now to do that.
Do what now?
I'm going to ask the commission right now to do it, and I'd like to know how many hours are being spent on removing these books. I mean, because it's all taxpayer money that we're spending on something we're going to throw in the garbage. So I'd like to, if we know what we've spent in the past, it hopefully will keep us from doing it in the future. And that's the only point I want to make, that we don't redo it. So if we have a number of what we spent taxpayers' money on this stuff, then that's gonna give us a red light, say, hey, we need to stop. We can't do this again. And that's why I wanna make a motion of the county commission, if y'all would support it, that,
So, as previous, when you make a motion here, we have to wait, go back and redo the agenda and wait for 12 to. And at this time, you've got December coming up that you could submit a resolution for such action.
I'll do that, but, you know, like I say, I'm just trying to, you know, look out for kids, I mean.
Well, we appreciate that,
And we need to, you know, I think we need to hold them accountable, because that's taxpayer money.
All right.
And I don't know how many years it goes back. Lucinda's been working on this since 14, and I'm just coming around to it, so.
Mr. Jenkins, you talk about the process, and that's good, and hopefully people will follow that, and we start doing it, but where's the discipline to maybe library, who's gonna take where does it go to, I guess, who's gonna take the grunt of, we come here next year and there's 20 books that's got through the process, so who's gonna discipline who takes the action, who gets the reprimand, how do we stop it, I guess, I mean, you understand what I'm asking, I guess? So, has anybody been disciplined? Has anybody been held accountable?
I think we're all being held accountable through the process, but as far as discipline, we have to know whether the act was intentional or unintentional. Until we can prove that, we can't discipline somebody. So that's.
Is it the same librarians? Is it the same, I mean, we've had that trouble not far.
They're sprinkled throughout our district. We have titles sprinkled throughout. I wouldn't say that it's any one particular library.
I'd like to see something, it's always about policy, but we need some type of disciplinary action forward to maybe curb it, you know, keeps everybody in whole. That's what I'm asking for. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just quick, I know
we
need
go
to
ahead,
get back
Mr.
to
Hooks.
the agenda. Are the screening process in place now to review material, not only books that you can check out of the library, but history books, new history books that's been printed? It's been brought to my attention that things has been slipped into that. So are they a screening, do we have someone that will, before that order is placed, to screen the product, prior to purchasing, any book?
So our curriculum, we adopt off the state approved list. The state sends us a list for all of our textbooks that we adopt. And even those, when you weed down through them, some of those are questionable. It's not the majority of the content, but there'll be a single story at a particular grade level that some people would find questionable with. And that's a state approved list. We can't adopt textbooks unless it's on the state adoption list. So the state approves that, and then we have a review team from the county that adopts our textbook curriculum. And they will go through, and occasionally they may see something, but they can't go through every chapter of every lesson. They go more the structure of the lessons, the manipulatives that go along with the lessons, and so on and so forth. But occasionally, I mean, my wife was fourth grade, and she's seen something that she disagreed with. There's a kid telling a little white lie, so they say, and she didn't like it. I said, well, don't teach that part. But that was on a state approved curriculum. So there's always going to be things in question. I mean, you can't turn on Saturday morning cartoons and not see things that bother you these days. So we try our best to vet those things. This library book thing has come upon us, and honestly, we've had procedures in place, and we didn't realize it was an issue like it is. We thought it was dealt with. It was naivety, I guess, on our part. Now that we know, we're encouraged and we're trying our best. Like I said, we've worked
So if we move forward, we can do better.
Well, we're gonna have to do better. I mean, it's against the law to have it.
That's what
Yeah, so we're gonna keep working, and our principals, we had a special meeting with just our principals and talked about the seriousness of it, and they've gone back and they've worked on it, so.
That's good.
I just wanna say that y'all done a good job of moving them, since it's been brought to your attention, I do wanna say that.
All right, thank you all for that. Let's get back to our agenda and, our new business here. So, and I appreciate everybody's interest in everything, don't get me wrong, but we're driven off this agenda So we can't, there's two things that I don't wanna ever do in here, just make on-the-fly motions and do math, because we've seen what they can get to. So those are two things I don't wanna do in this agenda. So let's move on with new business. Resolution 112301, authorizing the county executive to sign a quitclaim deed, all interest of Roane County. Hear a motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Cunningham. Commissioner Hooks.
I'll yield to our county attorney if he has any comments on
All right, stand by, Commissioner Cunningham. All right.
This is a roadway that was never developed that the county abandoned sometime last year by a previous resolution. There's a Mr. and Mrs. Cassidy who own properties on both sides of that strip, and they have requested that the county quit claim that strip to them. They have had it surveyed, and the codes office has recommended that you adopt this.
All right, thank you, sir. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, resolution passed. 112302, in support of establishing an ad hoc Oak Ridge Airport committee under the Roane County Commission. So I am gonna add one name to this, and it will be Commissioner Gann. I think I had the other ones listed on there. So it's Commissioner Burry, Commissioner Cunningham, and Commissioner Dove to be part of that study, if that may. So a motion by Wilson, a second by Dove. Commissioner Wilson.
Needs no further explanation, pretty self-explanatory.
Commissioner Dove.
No, I do not have anything else.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. And did you record the names, Madam Clerk? Thanks, sir.
Would you read them to me one more time for accuracy?
Gann, Cunningham, Dove, Burry.
Thank you.
All right, and I will reserve the right, we, as a body, will reserve the right to add individuals or other organizations to that as need seen fit. All right, 112303, resolution that honors the Roane County treasurers and the golden treasurers for the 2023 Founder's Day event. Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Henderson.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing that we do, that we can give back to the community, and I appreciate, all our treasurers, because they've done wonderful work throughout the county.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Wilson.
I concur. We had a great selection the other night, and it went very well, and I'm sure you have something you want to add on this, so I'll turn it over to you.
No,
Okay.
just what was in my report.
All right, sounds good.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries. Resolution to place in surplus a certain Roane County vehicle and equipment as listed on the attached sheet dated October 2nd and entitled surplus vehicle and equipment. Commissioner Henderson.
We've been through the property committee, and ready for the bill. Not perfect.
Commissioner Hooks.
We don't need it, just get rid of it.
Any discussion, any debate?
One thing I will say, question for Mr. Berry. Was one of these resolutions, or involving a vehicle you requested be donated to Rockwood, the city of Rockwood?
No, I don't think that vehicle was worthy of.
Okay.
Thank you.
If so, if there is one, we need to build it into the resolution. Thank you, sir.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries. 2305, resolution to place a surplus, a certain vehicle in the juvenile probation. Motion by Brackett, Commissioner Brackett. Second by Commissioner Hooks. Commissioner Hooks. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries. 112306, a resolution to appropriate $30,000 in the general fund for the community-based traffic safety enforcement education grant. Commissioner Wilson.
This has been through the budget committee. This is money, with zero match to it. It's not gonna cost us anything. It's always a good idea.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing further, sir.
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion passed. 112307, a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale and payment of 3-year capital outlay notes not to exceed $174,197. Commissioner Wilson.
I'll yield to the county executive after Mr. Hooks.
All right, Commissioner Hooks.
Shane.
County executive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is in response to, Commission approved a contract with Eagle View, what's a?
Pictometry.
Pictometry is the name of the company, in September of 2022. So this is not to reappropriate or spend any additional money, but what we recognize, what Connie recognized, is that this creates an intangible asset. So when this flyover is done, we own something. And if you're paying for something that you own, that you have over a number of years, Connie asked the comptroller's office, does that not constitute debt? Would that not be reclassified as debt? And they'd never been asked that question. So after they went back and looked at it, they said, as a matter of fact, you're right, it should be classified as debt. No counties across the state had looked at it that way before, but they will now. So the resolution you have before you was created by the comptroller's office. It's just a standard capital outlay note. But this is their advice for us to make it right, to be able to classify it as debt. That's the only change. This is just accounting terminology that we're going about here. To look at it a different way as opposed to just treating it as a standard maintenance agreement. Connie, does that suffice?
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Berry.
So, I understand this was in 2022?
The contract was approved September 2022.
So, contract was in 2022 for 2023?
For 3 years.
It's a 3 year.
So
3 year.
where's that money been since 2022?
Okay, so this is a company that has sold you a product.
Okay.
We initially, at the signing, spent $15,000. That's our promise to pay.
That was
So then we
2022.
have it set up to pay almost $45,000 this next year. And then we'll have to pay $119,000 in the 3rd year because we can only do this for 3 years.
I was confused before. So we haven't received any services yet?
No, because the property assessor postponed the flyover.
Okay.
We're a year behind of what we would have done.
So the money's already been allocated in the budget, we just carried it over?
Correct.
And reclassified.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion or any other debate?
Chairman, may add, this is debt that is with zero interest.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, resolution passed. Resolution 112308, a resolution amending the general purpose school fund 141, reflecting changes in revenue expenditures estimated 2023 FY. Commissioner Hooks.
I'll yield to our director.
Hold on just a second. Commissioner Gann.
I agree with Commissioner Hooks.
All right, this time we'll yield if need be.
This is our school security grant from the state. We had a school security meeting, a couple of school security meetings. They took our school safety analysis and they devised a spending plan to meet the needs of each individual facility, and then went before our school board and got unanimous support. We're buying things like SRO equipment, laptops, radios, fencing, automated door locks, window film, like 3M window film, to make our entrances and windows shatterproof, cameras, radios. There's probably some other items that I didn't remember. It was done by our safety committee and approved by our full board. It's just money coming in from the state.
All right, Chair recognizes Commissioner Goff.
Mr. Jenkins, that was some time back, I think Commissioner Brackett had actually brought this up, and
everybody agrees, that it was an issue. What's been looked at as far as getting communications within the school buildings, so they can get reception? Is that still being worked on?
It is being worked on. These radios that we're purchasing, they have ample coverage in our buildings. We have some spotty cell phone service, and Mr. Crespo and I met with FirstNet, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and that our technology department handles our devices. But we're looking at potentially going to the FirstNet system. It's supposed to have greater coverage than the Verizon at a comparable cost to us. But the best two-way radios are our best communication. And some of these radios we're paying for Darrell and for the rest of our SROs, they have good coverage with those radios. But by the time you use a cell phone, it's pretty cumbersome. And you think by the time you call the office, and so we're trying to put two-way radios in the hands of our teachers that work within the building, and then the SRO can call out on the repeater, so we get better coverage that way. We've looked at the signal boosters that go on the building. They're like $25,000 each. And some of our buildings will require 2 to 3 of those, so that's just not a cost-effective solution right now. So we think we're gonna have really good coverage for these handhelds, and that's the direction we're going in. So.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Bell.
How much is that going to Kingston's way?
I have no idea, but we don't have it divided like that. I know, we've been spending, it depends on the school security assessment. So the larger schools, the high schools, they usually, get a higher score on those. And that means that they have a greater need. It's the way the assessment is developed. Roane County High School with all of their multiple buildings. Of course, that's, asking for a lot. We're doing electronic door locking systems there to try to maintain secure entrances at multiple points. That's a very expensive proposition. And then, of course, radios in everybody's hand, all the teachers, so on and so forth. So.
Thank you, that's it.
All right, at this time, it's our last resolution, so, any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion's carried. At this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn if there's no other business from Roane County Commissioners.
I'd just like to say thank you to our health director. She's here tonight. She's had some health problems, and I'm sure she'd rather be home. She's here tonight. Laura Connor does a great job for us and overseeing the move coming back, so thank you for being here.
And Director of the 2023 East Tennessee Health Department of the Year, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I got a motion and a second to adjourn.
That's